Welcome to the Lightwalkers Path podcast. I'm Rosemary DiTrolio, your host and guide to all things spiritual, enlightened, and inspirational. And today's guest is Andres Ruiz, a 26-time published author, 11 Amazon best-selling books, motivational speaker, and mindset coach. He is the founder of Believe in Myself Leadership Coaching and speaking. He empowers entrepreneurs, professionals, and students overcome self-doubt, build confidence, and take action on their goals. I'm so happy to see you. How are you?
Me too. I'm very happy to see you. I'm doing great. And yourself?
Wonderful, wonderful. So I'm excited
Awesome.
about what you do because it kind of really well aligns with my mission in life too, is to kind of inspire and shift people. So I was
Mhm.
really excited to meet you before and also talk about the work that you've done with youth to shift them into the mindset of success, prosperity, and positivity based on what you do. So I want you to talk about that. Like, what are some of the things that you do to help these young people find their way?
Yeah, what I've noticed is that uh, some of the kids that I coach, they don't have a clear path as to where they want to go. So they look sometimes for distractions. I've had some youth who struggled with, for example, marijuana
Yeah.
and to kind of like distract themselves, whether it's video games,
Mm.
scrolling, and then they think to themselves, "Oh, I'm not doing anything with my life, I'm not good enough." And then what I try to do is I try to hold a space for them to be able to talk through those challenges that they're going through, so that way I can help them find their own answers. And when they're kind of stumbling, I'm that person to just kind of give them a tip here and there or share stories with them that will help them to find their own answers. So I think the thing that they're struggling with is that sometimes they don't have somebody that listens to them. And when I say listen, I mean really truly
Really hear them.
listen.
Yes.
Yes, hear them. Yeah. Some people just want to give advice. And I know as a parent, sometimes we want to give advice and we want to do what's best for our kids, but sometimes that could actually make it worse for them because they don't feel heard or seen.
Yes, I think that's really important. And I found too, a lot of the people that come to me are in the age group of maybe 25. Well, I get a wide range, but some of the ones that come to me with just that are like maybe 20 to 30, 35, and they're just sort of lost and they don't know like how to sail the waters. And it's really something to see them shift once you give them like that one next thing, like just like a sail
Mhm.
shift, like this way.
Yeah,
And once you give them that, they can kind of sail and do their own thing, but they have to find that. They have to find that purpose.
absolutely. Yes, I love that. Yeah, you definitely have to help them just kind of like see it for themselves, see that clear path, and then once they see that clear path, then they start to get excited. For example, I had one client that he was struggling, with marijuana and didn't have a sense of purpose, was kind of feeling like depressed. He thought he was depressed and anxious, but when we started to just help, when I helped him navigate through those challenges and find what he wanted to do, he wanted to go into a profession that required not to be smoking marijuana. So we slowly but surely like build the habit of letting go of smoking. Like we reduced it. We didn't go cold turkey. We
Right.
reduced it, eventually got it to where he doesn't smoke anymore. And then now he has gotten his degree. He's got a great job. He's got a house. He's got a wife. He's got a kid. I mean, he is doing
Yeah.
phenomenal. And so yeah, I'm really really proud of him and everything that he has done since we started working. He has definitely shifted his mindset and his life because of that.
I love that. I often wonder about, right now it's really easy for kids to get like the CBD and the gummies and this and that. And I'm a little concerned about the misuse because I know that it can affect your mind and it could cause, like you're saying, kind of that where you feel you're depressed, but maybe you're really not. Maybe it's just kind of the effect of what people are taking or doing. So,
Yeah.
that's a concern right now with the young people, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of kids that are just trying to numb their
Um,
pain or numb their challenges, and I've seen some kids who unfortunately then eventually go into doing harder drugs. And
yeah.
I do talks like, for example, at the juvenile detention center, and some of these kids, they're just having challenges with whether it's cocaine
Yeah.
or other substances. I mean, some of these kids I've heard that they're born pretty much a drug addict because the mother was a drug addict. So it's like almost like I don't like
Yeah.
the term, but I don't even know what other term to say. But I've heard kids say, I was a crack baby. Like I was
Yeah.
born
Yeah. Yeah.
like a
Oh,
drug addict.
sad.
They had to give me drugs just to keep me
Mhm.
alive, and it's sad to
Yeah.
see, but some of these kids, they feel like that's all they are and that's all they'll ever be,
Yeah.
and I
They
think
feel
that
they're a
that's where
toss away. Yes, the
the
mindset.
mindset shift, it really comes down a lot to the mindset too, just helping them see the greatness that we see in them, but we have to
Yeah.
have them see it for themselves.
Yeah, I think that's the hardest part. And I think that self-esteem is built by doing things and I guess, being hardwired by the people that are around you. And a lot of people don't have that experience young. So they have to rebuild it at a certain age rather than have it in them from their parenting. And I think that's a sad thing to see, in our society because I was lucky enough to have parents that loved me, but when I was a teacher, I've had a couple kids that were addicted later on, and one of them actually died. And it just
Mm.
broke my heart because I taught this kid when he was in third grade, and when I found out, I was so upset because he was a beautiful child and a wonderful kid. And I'd hate to see people fall away when they could be helped, or, you know, when they're ready to be helped. I guess that's the thing. When they're ready to accept help and accept change.
Yes, they got to be ready to accept change. I know for me, I wasn't ready to accept change for a very long time, and that's why I struggled with myself. I didn't really like myself. I had low confidence, low self-esteem. And I remember when I was in high school, I was dating a girl that we were together and we were really codependent on each other.
Yeah.
If it was, and we really didn't know how to have a good relationship. I wasn't a good boyfriend, and I'm not going to say she was like a bad girlfriend, but she was just very young. And
Yeah.
it really wasn't a great relationship, and it wasn't like a holding hands relationship. Like we were intimate at a very young age, you know what I mean? So we were young, and then I remember that then she broke up with me, and I was extremely devastated. I got really
Sure.
sad. I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. I would
Oh,
cry. And then I remember one time my dad saw me crying, and coming from a
yeah.
Mexican family,
You
like that
don't
was a
cry.
big no-no. You don't
Yeah.
cry, yeah. So he just told me like, "Hey, don't be crying, like, man up." And then I was like, "Man,
Oh,
okay, so I'm not gonna cry. I'm not
gotta
gonna
stuff
express my
it.
emotions. Gotta
Yeah.
stuff it." And I was never taught to like how to handle these type of challenges. So I went into like a really deep depression, and because I wasn't eating right, because I wasn't sleeping right, I started to have some thoughts that I had never had. I started to have thoughts of suicide. I was cutting myself. I felt like my world had ended. I felt like
Sure.
my world had ended, and I felt like I couldn't trust anybody. I had a really low trust,
Yeah.
and that holding on to those feelings and holding back my emotions, I kept that going on until my 20s. And
Wow.
I struggled with that where I would wear a mask, like everything was okay. And I was
Sure.
like the
Sure.
funny guy.
Protection.
And, and this is one of the things that I notice about men is like either you're the funny guy or you're the angry guy. There's never in
Yeah.
between.
Yeah.
You cannot be in
Sure.
between. So
Sure.
I was the angry and the funny guy and never really expressed my emotions. But behind that mask that I was always wearing, there was just a lot of anger that needed to
Sure.
be released. But
Yeah.
behind that anger, there was just some tears that needed to be cried that were, I was told I can't.
Oh,
And then if we go a little bit deeper, a little bit further behind those tears, there was just a little boy that needed to be
of
hugged and loved.
course. Yeah. I think that's probably the crux of a lot of addictions is not feeling seen and loved at those ages that you need to be. Like the younger years are so important and vital for kids. That's beautiful.
Absolutely.
So what age did you feel you made this shift? Were you in your 20s when you made this shift into like a wellness or a mind shift for yourself? And did you have a mentor that helped you?
Yeah, so when I got into um I remember I was at like at a Walmart. I was just shopping around and I see this guy that tells me, "Hey, do you want to make some extra money?" And I lived on the side of town that not, you're like, extra money, what type of money are you talking about? So, and then he started to talk to me about this life insurance stuff and I said, "Yeah, I guess." And I got it. I went to one of their meetings and people were jumping up and down and really positive and I was like,
What's
what
wrong
is
with
this?
that
Like, I was scared because I had never, I mean, I was usually around sarcastic, negative people. And then I see these people, "Hey, how you doing?" I'm like, "Oh my God, what is this?" It's like a Twilight Zone for me. So those were kind of like my first, you could say, like somewhat mentors, and
Yeah.
I started to just like get into listening to audios. This guy gave me an audio, and then I remember one
Mm.
time I was just down and out, and then I popped on this audio, and this motivational speaker came on, and he said, and this was my first mentor. He said, "Many people will leave the universe without a trace, and
Oh,
under their name, you can put not used up."
oh, wow. Yeah, that's
And that
something.
really struck a chord in
Hit
my
the
heart.
goal. Yeah.
And he really, I said, I know that I was meant for more. I know that I can do more. And he started to describe, and he said, he in the audio he would say things like, do you know where the wealthiest place in the planet is? And he said, it's not in Dubai, it's not in South Africa where you find diamond mines. The wealthiest place in the planet is in the graveyard, because in the graveyard you will find ideas, inventions, books that were never written,
Oh,
hopes and
people that did
dreams that were
that.
never
Yes.
brought to life
Yes.
because of fear. And then I said, man, that's me. So that really just moved me, and it had helped me to start to go for my dreams. Ever since I was 12, I always wanted to be a stand-up comedian, but people would make fun of me for even like thinking about it and everything. And I said, I want to do it. I want to do it. Like, okay, I guess
Why
this is a
not?
way to leave. Why not? So I took a chance and I went up there the first night. I was terrible. I was bombing. I remember there was a sweet old lady in the front, and she was eating, and she looked up and she just went, and I said, oh my God,
Right.
like,
Even her.
I'm that bad. So that's how bad I was. But I got off stage and I said, wow, I'm not like dead. I'm still alive. Like I may have still made it. Like I
Yeah.
can still do this. And so
Still
I
did
kept
it.
doing stand-up comedy. But then
Yeah.
after that, I decided to get a coach around public speaking. And
Hmm.
then because somebody told me, hey man, you need to get better as a comedian, like join public speaking or something. And then
Yeah.
I got better as a comedian. The old lady wasn't going like that anymore, but I fell in love with public speaking.
Yes. Yeah, I love it.
And
I love it too.
that's yeah,
Yeah.
that's when I just started speaking for free at middle schools, high schools, and
Yes.
then eventually I had somebody that told me, "Hey, like how much do you charge?" And I said, "Oh my
Like,
God, like
you get
you
paid
want
for
to
this?
pay?" I'm like, "Absolutely." Like, yeah, and then I
Yeah.
gave her a price and she's like, "Oh, that's really cheap." And I'm like, "Oh man, I should have told her more, but hey, I'm
Yeah,
going to get paid
right.
for this." So
Yes.
so
Yes.
I started getting paid for it, and then I had people reach out to me that knew me from the past. They were like, "Hey, like how are you doing this? Like you were so shy before, you were not really like confident like this." Like, and so then that's when I started
Yeah.
doing confidence
I love
coaching.
it. I love that.
And then kind of I was just doing that part-time, the speaking and the coaching. So I would get off of work. I used to work with foster kids. I would get out of work at around 2 o'clock. I would get in my suit, and then I would drive to my speech, or I would get on a phone call with my coaching clients. And then eventually it got to the point where I made this my full-time gig. And then when I did, that's when I started writing books. That's when I started doing my radio
Oh,
show and
amazing.
started doing other things. And what I want to bring to people here is it's not to impress you, it's just to impress upon you the power of just first start. Hey, I started as a comedian. I thought I was going to maybe be a comedian, and no, it took me in a different direction. That's the beauty about taking
Yeah,
chances
I
on your
believe
hopes and
that.
dreams.
Yeah.
It will take you in different directions that you would have never imagined yourself. I would have never imagined myself doing this ever in a million years. But because I
Yeah.
decided to take a leap of
Yes.
faith and face my fears, now I'm doing like what I love. Like today I was telling somebody, I wake up and I'm excited for the day. Like
Hmm.
I can say
Yeah.
that I'm excited
You're
for
filled.
to
You're
do my
filled with that energy.
yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
So
love that you've used the experiences you've had in your life to really help people in a very deep way. Because I think, when you're helping kids that you have not had their experience, they're like, well, what do you know? You're just a person that's telling me things. But because you've lived it, you could really understand it in such a deep way, and you can get under there to know like what it is that's really going to motivate or help. So I think that's awesome. And I love that, I always say like I do the leap of faith thing too. That's one of my things I always talk about. And like
mhm.
leap and the net will appear is kind of the thing. It's like you
I
got
love
to
that.
take the step to know that that you're going to be handed or saved when you take that step. But if you don't take the step, you never know. So,
Yes.
that's kind of the way I live my life, and very drawn to when you make a decision, like what is the next right thing that feels right to your heart? Like what calls you? And sometimes it's like you're saying, like you thought it was comedy, but it was speaking, but it was kind of like your
Mhm.
your leap into the next part of what you were supposed to be doing, and I love that.
Absolutely, yeah. And I'm so glad that I did take the leap because I remember when I first got started as a speaker, I had challenges with stage fright, and I would go and speak to kids, and I would be scared to do it because I was
Mm.
thinking they're gonna judge me
They
because I
could be a
was
tough
that
audience.
judgmental kid.
Yes.
Yeah, because I was that judgmental kid, and so I remember one time I was gonna go speak to 500 kids,
Mhm.
and I was driving over there, and I really was thinking to myself, maybe I should just tell them I got a flat tire, I couldn't make it, and then I started to have my self doubt, and that's when I called my coach up, and thankfully he answered, and I said, "Hey man, I'm really nervous.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about calling this off. Like, I just need
No.
some help." And then he was like, "Man, you know what? Stop being so selfish and thinking about your fears, and start
Yeah.
thinking about the people that
How
you're
you
going to
gonna help
serve."
them? Yes.
That was the end of the call. And then I went
Yeah.
in there and I talked about my experience. I talked about my challenges with depression, with
Yeah.
anxiety, with suicidal thoughts. And then I remember after the presentation, I had a young lady come up to me and she said, "Hey, mister, can I talk to you?" And she said, "Hey, um, I just want to tell you, hey, I thought I was alone. I thought I was the
Yeah.
only one dealing with it." And she said, "But you know what? Like, you see, I've been to many foster homes. I've been to psychiatric homes. My
Yeah.
my family's in Michigan, and I
Oh,
was gonna take my life tomorrow."
oh my gosh. Oh, just
Mm.
that got my heart. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
always believe God puts us in places where someone's meant to hear whatever word you have to say, and you never know where it's going to go. You never know who's listening, who's going to be affected in a positive way by just something, some kernel of something that you give them. And I always
yes,
feel that you just never know. And it isn't about us. It's like if someone, I don't really care. Like if someone's listening to me and I'm not their cup of tea and they don't get anything from me, they're not my people, and it's okay. Someone else is that's
yes,
there. And that's kind of, it gets you away from worrying about what people think about you. And it's very freeing,
yeah.
isn't it? It's so
It
freeing.
is. It is very freeing. And yeah, well, when that young lady came up to me, I mean, she doesn't know it, but she
It's
was one of my
beautiful.
greatest inspirations. She was
Of
one of my
course.
greatest mentors. And since that day, I've had over 20 kids come up to me and tell me the same
Love
thing.
that. Oh
And
gosh.
I even had over 300 kids one time. I was speaking in front of 300 kids, and four kids put their hands up, just saying like, "Hey,
Wow.
I'm thinking about." And thankfully, like
Oh
every
my
time that
God.
I was there, there
Yeah.
was a counselor, or like when I was doing Zooms, I even had this happen during COVID, where kids
Wow.
would like send me a message and tell me this happened, and then I would just message the
Wow.
teacher, "Hey,
Yeah.
so and so,
Immediately.
just
Yes.
to let you know immediately." Yeah. So because I'm not a professional or anything like that. I'm just sharing my
Yeah.
experience,
That's it.
and so like for me, it's been such an amazing experience to be able to like save lives. Like today I was getting asked a question by one of my clients, like he said, "What's your why?" And I said, "To save lives, like
Yeah.
period, that's it,
Yeah.
like to
Yeah.
save
Yeah.
lives," because I really believe that we all
You
have
are
a
doing it.
message that can save lives. And I think like why a lot of people don't do it is because they really do care about what people think or say about them. And I want to share a quote that a lot of my clients live by, and a lot of these young kids live by, and it's the quote of, "I am what I think you think I am."
Yeah.
So it's a perception of another
Right.
person's perception that's
It's
just an
always a
assumption, and
perception.
most likely is a lie. But because we
Mhm.
think that they think that we're not capable, because we think that they think that we're stupid, or because we think that they think that we're not good enough, we suffer in our mind. And that's why we suffer, all of us, we suffer more in our mind than we do in reality.
Yeah,
And
yeah, it's
it's,
always outer directed though. So like to me, it should be inner directed from your core of who you are. But if you don't know that core of who you are, you're always going to look out there for someone to approve of you rather than looking in to know that you're already approved by yourself. And that's really the
yes,
confidence that comes from life experience and from knowing that life is peaks and valleys. And there's always peak and a valley in life, and you have to just learn from the valleys and keep climbing the darn mountain. And like I see you got a mountain in the background there, and that's
yeah,
that's
yeah,
awesome. Yeah.
yeah, thank you.
So tell me, you have all these books, and I'm so excited because I'm published on Amazon, and I have a lot of books,
Nice,
and I want to know
nice.
about one of the books that you love the best, what's something about one of your books that you love the best that you wrote? Like one tidbit or idea that you think is like, I'm proud of that one.
Yeah. I would say the Morning Warrior Secrets book because my morning routine really transformed my life. It really helped me to be more disciplined, be more confident. I mean, I felt like that routine in the morning of meditation, stretching, working out, journaling, just doing all these things really helped me to get ready to take on the day. Like I feel that once I'm up, I mean, and I wake up early today. I was talking to somebody about that. I wake up 3:30 to 4. Yeah. And I have kids too, so I want to make sure that I
Yeah.
win the morning before they wake up because they're early
Oh,
risers
sure.
too. They wake up anywhere from 5 to 6, so they wake up really early. And but I go to sleep at 8:30, so I'm the
Mhm.
guy that's in bed
You're
getting
an
ready
early
for bed
bird.
at 8.
Yeah.
I'm an early bird. Yeah.
Oh,
So
that's
that
funny.
one has really transformed my mindset, has transformed my life because I feel that I'm already getting my morning ready and I
Yeah, you're
feel
setting your
so
day.
energized, so positive. Yeah, like this morning I journaled about some anxious thoughts I was having and I just journaled
Mm.
about them. I got them out of my head because
Yep.
if you get in your head, you're
Mind
dead
dump.
because
Yes.
your head will tell you all the reasons why you're not good enough, why you can't make it, why you're going to go into debt, why you're going to go this, all that stuff. And I got it out of my head and I got into gratitude. That's something that I also practice
That's
gratitude
very
a lot,
important. Yes, me too.
very
That's really
important.
good.
So just like those were some of that book was really helpful for me, and it's been helpful for a lot of people too that have read it. That they said, "Wow, I never had a morning routine. I didn't know how important it was to
Yes.
have a morning routine, and
So
it's
is
really
that
transformed my life."
so that's the name of your book, The Morning Routine?
Morning Warrior Secrets.
Morning Warrior Secrets. Is that what you said? Yeah, I just want to make
Yeah,
sure so people can look it up for you. Yeah, that
yeah,
that sounds great. And I do believe that in life we kind of are warriors for ourselves. And I think we always battle the shadows because we come here with lessons and a mission. And I think we also come here with things that we're supposed to overcome or supposed to do. And the people that have the biggest things to overcome are the bravest souls because they come in like, I think I'm going to try this out. And I really believe that when you've had such a difficult time overcoming something, you're really powerful. And that's how we're going to use our light to help other people. So I think that
yeah.
that's an awesome mission that you were brave enough to take on.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes, yes. I'm looking at what else you have here. So when people sign up with you, I'm assuming that you work both virtually and in person, or is it mainly virtually, or is it
Yeah,
workshops out in public? What's your
I'd say I probably have more clients in virtual because they're outside of the state or they're outside of the country. And
right?
I do have a few clients that are local, but yeah, I work in person or via Zoom, or some of them prefer phone
Yes.
call because they're so
Yeah.
busy they don't have time for a Zoom, so they just
Right.
talk on the phone.
And
Yeah.
sometimes
So
Zoom gets glitchy, right? As we found out before
yeah, hey, we
with the
yes,
internet.
we yeah, we've had that before for sure.
Yes, yes, yes. Oh, okay. So, do you also have a website? I know you, let me see, you gave me the name of it
Yes.
before.
Yeah, it's
Which
just on
is
it's my name, andresruiz.site. SIT.
okay.
So it's my name, andresruiz.site.
Andresluis.site. Okay, cool. Yeah, because that way people can look you up for that. So when someone works with you, is it like a one-time session? Is it over a period of time? Is it an adjunct to the counseling they already do? Like, how do you set yourself into that? Or is it mainly like coaching over time? How do
It's
you,
coaching over time. I
yeah,
usually work with my clients for a year. I have a few clients that I've been working with them for three, like I think the longest kind of have is like a little over 4 years.
yeah, same
So
same
yeah,
here. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
I have a few clients that, they just stay and I've been it's helpful to have somebody that, you trust. I mean, and
Yeah,
over the years, these people have trusted me so much. They know that whatever
yeah,
we talk about stays there. And that is so important for them. And I know the
I think
importance of that because
so.
I know I have my coach and it helps me to be able to like
To be
just have
authentic.
a
Yeah.
safe space to be able to share my challenges.
I think that's so important. And I know, like, sometimes it's hard for people to accept help, but I think that if you are vulnerable, I think vulnerability is a great strength. I've always felt that. But
Agreed.
sometimes when we're helpers and that, it's uncomfortable at first because we're always helping to allow people to help us. And I think it's so important to allow yourself to be authentic and to be vulnerable with so that you can also transform and move forward and be the best for helping other people. So, I think it's really, really important that people can explore many counseling ways to help themselves any way they can to be able to find where their path is. And I think everyone is born here with a path and a purpose. I strongly believe that. And I do believe that it comes from something you love inside that you don't even know. Like what would you do for free, I would do what I'm doing
Mhm.
now because I love it
Me
so
too.
much. And that's kind of how you find your path and purpose. That's what I feel.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, that's been the case. I wake up and I'm just really excited to serve and help people. And every day is just like a different person, a different
Yeah.
mindset, a different personality. And also, well, going and speaking.
Yeah.
Absolutely love going and speaking. I mean, sometimes like, man, I get paid for this, like just to
I
talk. Like,
know.
this
Oh
is
my
really cool.
God. Yeah, that's something that I've always been speaking to, like you, for free and low cost for years, because, as a former teacher. But
Yeah.
that's something that I'm really excited to do in the next chapter of my life is getting to corporate and college and do just that, do inspirational speaking, because I've done it, I've always done it, but it's just like I want to get paid to do that because it's something I love doing, and I think it'd be really fun, and
Oh
a
yeah.
great opportunity
It
to
is
help
fun.
more people. So yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah.
that's the
Yeah.
next
I know.
part of what I'm looking to do.
Awesome. I love it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
no, yeah, yeah. So I mean, it's definitely possible. I would have never imagined myself speaking in front of people in the trades, whether it's landscaping, plumbing, whether
Yes,
it's life insurance,
yes.
real estate investors. I mean, I
Love
think
that.
the one that I was the most nervous about was I was in front of like 300 real estate investors, real estate professionals. I mean, we're talking about millionaires, and I was like, oh my God, do I belong here? Do I deserve to be? And I said, absolutely, I
Your
belong
message
here just
belong
as much
there.
as they do.
Yeah,
So it's been like yeah, just surreal just to think that wow, like I'm speaking in front of these people
yeah.
that they have the same fears that I do.
Just they're
They're
just people.
normal.
My mom used to have this expression. She'd say they put on their pants one leg at a time, just like you do. In other words,
Yeah,
it's like they're no different. It's just like they're people too. It's just no matter what, face they're wearing, or no matter what mask they have on,
yeah,
they still have the fears. They still want to be liked. They still want to present a certain way. And
yeah.
we're all just in here together trying to figure it out.
I love that. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Yeah, we are
Yeah.
just the same, you know. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you have kids. What ages are your kids? I'm just
They're 11 and 14.
11 and 14. That's beautiful. Yeah, I was a third grade teacher for 32 years. And
That's a great age.
yeah, I loved it. And I write, my wheelhouse is probably middle grade fiction. But I
Okay.
have spiritual books as well, and I have middle grade fiction. I'm working on a YA. So I write for all different levels. But I did a presentation at our school, and I had probably about maybe 50 kids and teachers and principals, and it was just a
Okay.
blast. The kids were so cute
Oh
and
yeah,
asked me questions about my book, and it was just so much fun. But
they are so much fun.
yeah, I enjoy the kids. But the middle school, you got to be a brave soul to go into a middle school and talk to a bunch of eighth graders because they
Yeah.
think
Oh
it's
no,
fuck.
they
They are
they think
cute.
they know it all, or
They
sometimes
do.
they act like the tough kids
Oh
and
yeah, but you could,
cool kids.
it's all bravado.
I know. Yeah, yeah, definitely. High school, well, and it's just a matter of just like really connecting with them on kind of like their level. I kind of
I think
learned
so.
through that,
Yeah.
just like talking their slang. Like today, I was talking to one of at my networking event.
Uh-huh.
We were talking about it's what's called the cringe, and nobody knew what it meant. And
Hmm.
so, for anybody that doesn't know, the cringe is when just somebody does something really embarrassing and it makes you cringe. It's just like, oh my
Yeah,
God,
yeah,
that's
like
so embarrassing. And
yeah.
yeah, yeah. So
It's like the ick,
yeah,
right? It's the same as the ick, except it's a different word.
yep, yeah, different words. Like it's a slang. Like, I mean, they have so much slang. It's crazy. But
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I don't think I'd
you
understand.
get
It's like a
to.
whole different language when these kids
It
are
is.
talking.
It really is a whole different. Well, I mean, I
Yeah.
have an 11 and 14-year-old. They teach me a lot. I hear them saying,
Oh
I'm like, what does that
yeah.
mean? What does that mean? So I'm
Yeah.
learning through them,
And you're around
and
them,
then
so you got that age down. It's like when you're spending time with them, you kind of can hear the talk and understand better than being someone that isn't with kids a lot.
yeah,
That's
yeah. No,
great.
I'm learning. I'm learning from them. I'm like, you guys are like my mentors. So thank you for teaching me.
Yes, yes, love that. Okay, when you want yourself to stay grounded, it's like some of the things you do, you say you journal, you meditate, you said? Is that? Okay. And what else is like part of your self-care when you work with a lot of people? With this, since you have this daily habit, I'm assuming that that sustains you. But if you're at a big conference and you start getting a little antsy, what's the first thing you would do to kind of like get yourself back into grounding? Like, do
So
you?
like if you're open, maybe I could have you maybe do it. Like it's something super simple. Is that
Oh, I'd
okay?
love to. Sure, sure.
Awesome. All right. So what I'd like for you to do, and everybody that's listening, you could just close your eyes. So
Mm-hmm.
just close your eyes and then focus on the sounds going on inside of your room. And just take a deep breath in, breathe out, and then focus on the sounds of your breath. Take a deep breath in, and then breathe out. And then you can open your eyes, bring it back to the moment. Okay. All right. So how do you feel right now? Just
It's
curious.
good. It's good. It's very similar because I do that with my clients as well. The sound thing I love, and I do the tree grounding with the roots. So yeah, but
Mm-hmm.
I love that you do that too. That's
Yeah,
really
yeah. So if I ever get anxious, like for example, I was getting anxious with those real estate people, I went
yeah.
into the bathroom, I went into a stall, closed
Uh-huh.
my eyes,
Yeah.
I just was listening to the sound people coming in. It didn't matter what they were talking
Right.
about. I was just
Shift your focus.
focusing on the sounds. And then I said, "All right, let's go."
Beautiful.
Boom. And then I just would go in there, and then also just when I was going up there, I was just saying, God, give me the strength, give me the
I do
courage to
that.
show up for them.
I
It's
love
about
that.
them. It's not about me. It's about them. And
Mhm.
then boom, show up, and then boom,
I
let's
love
go.
that. I usually start my day with God, let me be a channel of blessing and light to anyone I meet today. And then I end my
Mm,
day to
beautiful.
review my day to see if my actions match my authentic self and if I did all the things I was supposed to do. And if I hurt anybody by word or deed, I'm really careful with it. So I've been doing that ever since I've been really young. And I think it's kept me really well aligned, and
That's
it's
amazing.
something I've
Wow.
always
I mean,
done.
for you, sure, yeah, for you to do it at a young age like
I
that,
did.
that's really awesome.
I was
That's
like
great.
9 years old. I started that.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
and I've been doing
amazing.
that my
Wow.
life. But still, we still are fallible. We still do things, so it's
Of
not like
course. Of
anybody's
course.
perfect, but it helped me to stay aligned. I have a really good like internal compass for right and wrong or just what doesn't align, I guess, and not that I've always done what aligns, but but I know it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
No, no, that's
yeah.
great. That's a great
Yeah.
practice. I love that.
So, okay. So we're coming to the end of our time, but I wanted to thank you so much for being here and being the
Yeah. Thank
light
you.
and the guide for so many people and so much youth, which I dearly love, and I really appreciate you. And I want
Thank
people
you. I
to
appreciate
check
you for your
out.
kind words.
I love it, and I hope that they check you out at andresruiz.site, and
Yes.
they find you, all right, and they find your books because you're awesome. All
Thank you.
right.
You're awesome too. I appreciate
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.